Is someone in Florida trying to artificially change the weather? A lot of Floridians, armed with unverified claims and anecdotes, seem concerned that the answer is yes. They throw around terms like chemtrails, contrails, cloud seeding. A new bill introduced by Senator Ileana Garcia of Miami is aimed at easing these people's minds. Senate Bill 56 would make it illegal to inject chemicals into the atmosphere with the intent of changing the temperature, weather, or the amount of sunlight. This is how the legislation defines weather modification. Now, there is no hard evidence that such things are happening in Florida, but a Florida Senate committee voted to advance the measure anyway. Some quick background. Weather modification is a real thing that is being studied. For example, the federal government is researching solar radiation modification, the process of reflecting sunlight away from Earth as a potential way to combat climate change. But the federal government is not currently doing this. They're just studying it in a lab. Trying to change the weather without a permit is already illegal in Florida. No one has applied for such a permit in more than 10 years. But in the eyes of those who believe people are modifying the weather, the lack of official permits is evidence of something sinister. Garcia's bill ups the punishment for illegal weather modification from $500 to $100,000. She hopes to set up a state reporting system for people concerned about others meddling with the weather.
The concerns are there. Some would call it concerns. Others would call it conspiracy theories. But I thought that perhaps this bill would allow us to start somewhere where we can start to separate fact from fiction.
A proponent of the bill got up and said this.
If what I heard is correct, that there hasn't been a permit pulled, then, and we're being sprayed without our consent, it's already a violation of our humanity.
That speaker was representing the Global Wellness Forum, which was co-founded by Marla Maples, President Donald Trump's ex-wife. Maples also spoke at the hearing. No one at the hearing presented any hard evidence about who was meddling in Florida's weather or how or where. Here's Maples.
It's not about who is doing this, it's about understanding why and then following up.
But speakers did offer anecdotes.
I've been personally witnessing weather modification, cloud seeding, or chemtrails as we call it now, over the past 6 years.
To some, including Republican lawmakers, it matters less whether there's evidence that weather modification is happening now. What matters is whether it could happen and what can and should be done about it. How far will the bill go? We'll be watching at tampabay.com.